And
Your video.
we're good. Yeah. All right. Here we go. State your name, rank, and unit.
My name is Ramon, aka Ray Aquino, and I was stationed in Vietnam in the 93rd Evacuation Hospital.
93rd Evacuation Hospital. How did you get involved in the Vietnam War? Were you drafted or did you get enlisted?
No, that was about 7 years into my career. I enlisted in the Army in 1961 and went to Vietnam in 1967. So I was a career soldier in my mind at that point and wound up serving 20 years.
20 years. Nice, nice. Good stuff. You said, how old were you when you first started again?
How old was I when I first started? I guess I was 19 or 20 when I joined the
About 19 or 20, 1967, you said?
No, when I joined the Army in 61.
Oh, you joined the Army in
I went to
61.
Vietnam in 1967.
Okay. What branch of the military did you... Yeah, what specific branch of the military did you serve?
I was in the U.S. Army Medical Department.
United States Army Medical Department. What was basic training like?
Basic training was different from a kid from Brooklyn who never handled a weapon or sort of lived outside. So
So it was a different experience.
It was a very intense experience.
Do you remember what specifically you learned?
I learned how to keep my big mouth shut and say yes, sir, and yes, sergeant, and learned to take care of myself.
That's good stuff. Would you say it efficiently prepared you for war?
My basic training?
Mm-hmm.
Young man, nothing really prepares you for war.
Nothing prepares you for war. All right. How long were you involved in the war again?
In Vietnam?
In Vietnam.
About 380 days.
380 days. Nice. Remember exactly. You said you went in 1967, and what year did you pull out?
In 1968.
1968. All right.
I was there for the Tet Offensive.
You were there for the Tet Offensive.
Yes, I was.
Okay. Very nice. We just learned about that in class.
Well, that's...
What was your trip on the way to Vietnam like?
Well, your father was about 5 years old then, so I had to leave him. Mm-hmm. And your grandmother was pregnant, so it was bittersweet. You know, I was a professional soldier, and that was my job, and I had to go. I didn't really want to go, but I went.
It's good stuff. Good attitude. Where were you stationed, and what was the area like?
I was stationed in a place called Long Binh, which was a large military reservation about 30 miles outside of Saigon. And it was really nothing there but military, and I was stationed in one of the hospitals there.
Okay. What was your job and assignment?
Okay. Initially, I had two jobs. One job was I was a non-commissioned officer in charge of the laboratory that 93rd Evac Hospital. It's about a 350-bed hospital. And we would get casualties directly. The guy would get shot, and 20 minutes later we'd see him. So, a very busy place.
I see.
And then I also had a job that I was assistant to a Major. Asa Barnes was his name, and he was the blood utilization officer for the whole theater. Mm-hmm. And so I did a lot of flying in helicopters, visiting different places to make sure that they utilized the blood supply efficiently. So I was real busy that year.
I understand. What was just an average day for you, like an everyday thing without combat, from the time you woke up to the time you went to sleep?
We did about a 14-hour day.
14-hour day?
Because we took care of direct casualties. In other words, they got shot in the rice paddy somewhere, and 20 minutes later we had them. Mm-hmm. And very bloody, very sick, injured people.
Yeah, war, very bloody. I understand. Did you yourself see any combat? And if so, what types of things did you go through during?
Thank God I didn't see any direct combat. I did get shot down in a helicopter one time,
You got shot down in a helicopter.
and that was scary.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
And you just shoot over, you see guys maybe 100 yards away, and you just firing your weapon, and they're firing back. And I don't know if I ever hit anybody.
What were some difficulties you had to overcome during your service?
Well, being away from home,
Mm-hmm.
and just adapting. It's a matter of adapting. Things change minute by minute, day by day, and you have the discipline to fall back on. That's what's the good thing about the military. They have rules and regulations that will serve you well, because they're a framework on what you're going to do. They always have answers to questions. So, but being away from home is tough.
Being away from home, I understand. Did you witness the use of napalm? And if so, how did you feel about it?
I didn't actually witness the use of napalm, but I saw some patients that were affected. And it's a terrible weapon.
Yes.
But war is terrible.
Or
And the whole idea of war is if you're going to fight it, you need to kill more of them than they can kill you.
exactly.
And it's just not a nice business.
Did you witness the use of Agent Orange? And if so, how did you feel about
I did
that?
not witness it, but again,
You've
I don't know if I ever actually saw anybody affected. Usually Agent Orange was years later. They would find that they were exposed. That's all history. That's all hindsight to me.
It's interesting. We heard that Agent Orange was actually a cancer causing.
Yeah, so, I mean, you could be exposed to Agent Orange in day one, but didn't manifest itself until 5 years later.
Okay.
So, and you were out and a stockbroker in Manhattan, and all of a sudden your hair started to fall out.
There you go. Yeah. Did you develop any friendships during the war? Who, if so, who and how did you
I
meet?
have developed friendships to this day. To this day.
This day.
I remember patients that I have that are on the Vietnam Wall. I still maintain relationships with people that I served with throughout my entire career. Jim Martin, you knew him.
I do know Jimmy Martin.
And Michael in Texas, the Goober, and so on and so forth. So I still have a very close relationship. They're family.
Any casualties or injuries in your specific unit?
I think we had a nurse that got stabbed by a Viet Cong. We used to treat VC and North Vietnamese Army people too, and I think one VC stabbed her with a pair of scissors. Other than that,
Did you yourself receive any injuries?
no.
No. Okay. Good stuff. Today, when learning about it in class, we're told that the war was fought to stop the spread of communism. What were you told the purpose of it was during service, and how did you feel about fighting in Vietnam?
Pretty much the same thing, that we were going to prevent the spread of communism, and which, again, hindsight, didn't work. But again, I was a professional soldier, and that was my job.
Exactly.
And I did it with, I was trained and well trained, I got to say, and finally got a chance to do what I had to do. And soldiers are trained to do things in combat, wartime. So I was proud of that, and that's what I did.
At any point during your service, did you have any doubt about the war?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I had doubts when I was there. I have a lot of doubts now. All wars. War is a terrible thing, and really, when you look at it, it didn't solve really much of anything.
No.
So it was a waste of good men and a lot of money.
There you go. Did you receive any medals?
I'm a Bronze Star holder,
Bronze Star holder, very nice.
among other things.
Did you have trouble readjusting to life after you returned from Vietnam?
Well, your grandmother used to say, somebody asked her one day, was he always, I guess Vietnam made him crazy. And she said, oh no, he was crazy when I married him. The only thing I had trouble adjusting is to when I actually got out of the Army, I was used to people just obeying me. I was a senior non-commissioned officer, so I told somebody to do something. They did it. And then when I got out of the Army and went to work, and people said, why? And it took me a while to figure that out.
I can understand that. How were you treated, and any major problems apart from the people not
You mean when
directly?
I came back home?
Yes.
Not as well as we treat the people who coming back home today. Nobody met me with flags. Nobody, of course, when I got home, your grandmother had a big sign for me. But nobody gave me cut rate housing loans or cut rate auto loans. They call us baby killers. So we're doing a much better job today in welcoming the troops when they come home than they did in 1968.
If you could do it all over again, would you?
Absolutely. It was my privilege and an honor to serve my country, and I would do it again.
Very good. Very nice. Lastly, do you have any war stories you'd like to share?
No.
No?
No.
Okay. That's it.